Hey guys, many of you have been asking for an update on Entergy. We are officially joined by someone with Entergy to give us an update. Hi, David.
Hi, Kieran. My name is David Freeze, and I'm a spokesperson for Entergy, Louisiana, based out of Baton Rouge. Entergy and hurricanes are something that I am quite familiar with and something that I grew up with. And right now we are in the midst of another very large-scale restoration following Hurricane Ida.
And tell us, where do things stand now?
So we're making incredible progress, especially in the greater Baton Rouge region. 6 days after Hurricane Ida made landfall, we've restored power to more than 320,000 customers. That's 35% of the 948,000 customers who lost power following the storm. Particularly in East Baton Rouge, this morning when I looked at the numbers, we were down to approximately 30,000 from a peak of more than 130,000 when the storm made landfall and impacted Baton Rouge and the surrounding communities. So up to this point, we've restored more than 75% of the customers in East Baton Rouge Parish that were affected by the storm.
What about, do you have a rundown, an active rundown as of today with outages in the other parishes?
I do not have that information at my fingertips, but I can certainly get that to you after this call.
Okay, perfect. So where do things stand in the hardest hit areas that, I guess it's the lower Livingstons, the St. Helena's, Tangipahoa Parish? What about those areas?
Sure. So I will tell you that we still have thousands of outages in the hardest hit areas following Hurricane Ida. And I heard you were, on your way over to St. Helena to kind of survey some of the damages in that parish. I've also had an opportunity to get out in the field, and yesterday I was actually in the Hammond area. I was visiting crews that were at our network there in Hammond, and also touring some sites in Ponchatoula where crews were putting new wire and setting new wires in the air, and also setting new poles. And so, while we've made great progress in the Baton Rouge area, and we're incredibly excited about that, our customers to our east and to our south have a long road ahead of, we have a long road ahead of all of us there. And that's largely due to the track of the hurricane. Forecasters were telling us, before Ida made landfall, they projected this thing to go, the eye would go right over Baton Rouge, and the storm would go, to the west of New Orleans. And if you look at the track, it looks like a snake uncoiled. The hurricane just could not figure out which direction they wanted to go in. It jogged to the east, then jogged back to the west, and back and forth. And, the eye walls ended up going through, portion of Livingston Parish and Tangipahoa Parish, where Hammond and Amite and those surrounding communities are. So I will tell you that the devastation in those communities there's a lot more damage in those communities as compared with our service territory to the west. In fact, when I was driving through Ponchatoula yesterday, you'll go into town, and it doesn't look like there's severe devastation, but as you venture out into the more rural portions of the town, where it's a lot more heavily wooded, there's incredible amounts of tree damage. The trees were uprooted, and many toppled over and landed on our facilities, taking down power lines and snapping poles in half, and just damaging our electric infrastructure in that area. And I'll tell you that the last time I saw tree damage to that magnitude was, when I was driving into Iowa, headed into Lake Charles, following Hurricane Laura last year. It's just, it's incredible the amount of tree damage that is taking place in these more rural parishes around Tangipahoa Parish. I was at the service center yesterday, after having gotten back from the field, and there was a drone operator in the room. And, he was having lunch, and I spoke with him for a little bit, and he said, look, I flew the drone over this particular circuit, and there were easily hundreds of poles that were, on the ground, many of which have actually fallen onto our power lines and knocked out power for our customers. So the long and short of it is that we're going to be cascading crews into these hard-hit areas. We have many crews, boots on the ground in those areas now, but there's more help on the way.
And do you even know a number of how many, I say boots on the ground, but how many trucks or linemen are in from around the country?
So across the southeast Louisiana for Entergy, we have amassed a storm team of more than 20,000. And a sizable amount of that is on the North Shore and in Entergy Parish where you're headed. So that storm team, it consists of distribution linemen. Those are the folks that set new poles, put wire in the air, and repair the electric system. That storm team number also consists of tree trimmers, and they're incredibly important following a hurricane that impacts our service territories because, we have to rely on the tree trimmers to cut the limbs and vegetation away from our facilities so that the distribution linemen can come in behind them and do the great work that they do.
Okay.
So,
go ahead.
I was going to say, and in addition to that, we also have support personnel because logistics is an incredibly important part of storm restoration. These men and women, they need to be fed, they need to be well rested, and all of the comforts of home is what we're trying to provide to them by putting propping up staging sites and things of that nature. So we have a large storm team, and a sizable amount is in the hardest hit areas.
Well, let me ask you this, and please be as blunt as it takes, and that way we're not giving anybody false hope. In some of the hardest hit areas, what are we talking? Days, weeks? How long?
Yeah, so we were actually, we were happy to be able to provide our customers with a general estimated time of restoration this morning. For Tangipahoa Parish, we expect the vast majority of customers to come online by September 17th.
Okay.
And so that also includes St. Helena. So we're looking at, running towards a September 17th date. Okay. However, the way this works is we develop estimated times of restoration by combing through the data. And the data comes in following our damage assessments. So our scouts and other personnel go out in the field, they ride the lines, they look at our infrastructure, and they tell us, okay, we have X number of poles that are broken or need to be replaced, X number of transformers that need to be replaced, and then X spans of wire, and a span of wire is from pole to pole, right? So they tell us how many spans of wire need to be replaced. All that data comes back into our local networks, and our engineers and operations folks will look at that data and say, okay, we believe we can accomplish this by this time period with what we have. And, we'll put together a list of estimated times of restoration for our customers. But as time goes on, we refine that, that estimation by, trying to get down to the neighborhood and community level. So while we have an overall date, I believe we're going to start having, additional dates that break it down by community. And many of the customers will come online before September 17th. That's just when we're projecting that we'll be able to get the vast majority of customers online in Tangipahoa and St. Helena parishes.
What about Lower Livingston, the Maurepas, Albany, Holden, Springfield, those areas?
So for Livingston Parish, our projected date for restoring the vast majority of customers is September 7th.
7th, okay.
And, September 7th.
Even with the flooding?
Yeah, so look, I mean, these dates are exactly what they are. They're estimates. So customers should understand that, we want to give them a projection, but by all means, this date, can change based on if there's something that occurs in the field. It's contingent upon whether or not, as you said, flooding could occur. And if there's something that hinders our progress, of course, we're going to update our customers and tell them, look, here's how things have changed, and here's what you can expect. But as of now, looking into the future, we believe that we should be able to get the vast majority of customers online in Livingston by September 7th.
Okay. And then all of, not including Orleans Parish, but I saw yesterday that an expectation of September the 29th to have everybody powered in Louisiana.
So let's see. The latest dates that I have, it looks like September 29th would be the day. Here on the paper that I have, Lower Jefferson Parish, vast majority by September 29th. Plaquemines Parish, except for Belle Chase, which will be September 10th. So most of Plaquemines would be in by September 29th. And again, that's excluding Belle Chase, which we believe will be able to get online by September 10th. St. Charles Parish, again, another hard-hit parish because of where the eye walls went. We believe that will be September 29th. And along with Terrebonne Parish, September 29th.
What about Lafourche and St. John, those areas?
So St. John, we're looking at September 17th.
Okay.
And for Lafourche, which is incredibly close to Terrebonne and where some of the hardest impacted areas are, is also September 29th.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you want to add, sir, that I did not ask about?
Well, I just want to let our customers know that, we know that any time without power is too long. We have amassed a very large workforce to make sure the lights get back on. And while we're making great progress, especially in the East Baton Rouge Parish and some of those communities, we're not going to be satisfied until we get all the lights back on. And, as crews start finishing up in certain communities, they're going to start joining existing crews in those hard-hit areas. And that cascading effect is going to help accelerate restoration. So, I want customers to, be patient with us and understand that we have the same goal. We want the lights back on as well. And we're coming. We're coming with a very large workforce, and we're not going to stop until we, repair and rebuild the electric system and get the lights back on and bring a sense of normalcy back to our communities. Nothing excites us more than being able to get the lights back on and help our customers get back to a sense of normalcy. That is the end goal here. We are passionate about this. We have some of the most talented engineers and operations teams, folks that are helping us, refine these ETRs and develop plans for how to get the lights back on. And we're always looking at alternatives. Throughout this whole process, we say, okay, well, here's how we're going to get it done. Well, tomorrow we may have a better solution, and we're going to take that route. So we're constantly evolving and constantly getting better at this. And we're not going to stop until we get all the lights back on.
And I guess I did forget to ask this, like the way that Demco explained it to me, that in some of these areas, the reason it is taking a lot longer is you can't just go in and repair. You're having to completely start over in some cases. Is that the same case for you guys as well?
Oh, without question. And I know you must have spoken to David Latona. He's doing a great job. David is doing a great job for Demco and, getting the word out regarding our Demco's restoration efforts. And, of course, we are working in coordination with Demco and the Louisiana Public Service Commission to be able to do this in the most efficient and, above all, safe manner. But exactly. So some areas we're doing a lot of repair work, and in others it's a complete rebuild in certain portions of Louisiana. And, Terrebonne and Lafourche and some of those areas along the coast have had incredible, damage to the infrastructure. Just to put it into perspective for you, we have more broken utility poles than what we saw following Katrina, Delta, and Zeta combined. So it's an incredible amount of damage, and in certain areas we're having to set new poles down an entire circuit, so it is a lot of damage. But the other thing that's important for customers to know, and this is kind of unique to some places, even in Hammond and Ponchatoula, you may, see distribution linemen in front of your house repairing the system, and then when they leave, you walk outside your front door and you see new poles, you see new wires in the air, and you're wondering, well, why is my lights not back on? And that's because there may be something down the line that's still affecting the source of power into your area. So the way I like to explain it is, we have power generation plants that feed power to our high voltage transmission lines, and then those transmission lines, bring power to our substations, which then step down the voltage and bring power to our distribution lines. If you were to compare it to the transportation system, our interstates would be the high voltage transmission lines. The on and off ramps would be the substations, and then the roads leading up to homes and businesses would be the distribution system. While we are working on all of those levels of the electric system at the same time, you cannot energize the distribution system until you have your transmission system online. So we're working to, get our substations back into service so that they can feed power to feeders, which will then feed power to, laterals and other portions of the system in order to bring power back to customers.
Okay.
So it's a process. It's incredibly strategic and methodical, but we're working on all levels of the system right now to bring power back to our customers.
And I don't know if you'll know this answer. Do you guys even have an estimate of financially how much this has cost, or how much the financial damage was to all of the equipment for Entergy yet?
So it's far too soon to tell, and right now our folks are very focused on restoring power to our customers. So I think that would be a discussion for a later time, but because right now we are laser focused on getting power back to all regions we serve.
Got it. Well, I appreciate it, David, and I know I speak for a vast majority of people that we cannot thank all the men and women who are here helping from all over the country. We hope that they are finally getting warm meals and showers. I know a lot of Louisianians have opened up their own personal doors to make sure everybody has a shower and a hot meal and whatnot. So thank you to them.
The only other thing I wanted to add is, having grown up with the linemen and knowing what they go through, it's a tough position to be in. It's a lot of hours, 16-hour days. But I go on social media, and some of the things I see that folks are saying, they're thanking our linemen for what they do and being supportive, and that is incredibly motivating to them and motivating to us. So we just we appreciate the community being behind us, because we truly are here for our customers to get the lights back on. And we're in this together. I know everyone says it. It's seems to be the motto in South Louisiana, but we're in it together. We're resilient, and we're going to get it done.
You got it, sir. Is there anything else?
That's it, Kieran. I think I might have covered it.